chair. Democrats call for new blood. Marianne Williamson is not your end-all, be-all hope, okay? I mean, my goodness, you had corporate media saying, oh, yeah, Rahm Emanuel, step up. No, absolutely not. Now, Marianne Williamson, step up. What? Nick from RBN, I'm pretty sure you have a statement to make, maybe. Let's go ahead and pull up this video here. Shout out to Case Study QB, who's wrongly being censored. Let's play this video.
The Democratic Party is looking for new leadership, and self-help author Marianne Williamson is throwing her name and hat into the ring for DNC chair. She ran 2 long-shot and unsuccessful campaigns for president.
Long shot? Oh, that's a bit of an understatement there, okay? I mean, they were like light years behind.
Earlier this year and back in 2020, when she failed to meet the polling qualifications for several debates.
We need to transform. In a way, we need to reinvent the Democratic Party in order to counter what MAGA is bringing to the table. There's a collective adrenaline rush in all of that. And we have to create our own massive psychological and emotional appeal for the American people.
And listen, in fairness, even before the election, we heard other Democrats talking about the need for new blood.
We need a new generation. We need new blood, period, across the Democratic.
We need new blood. Give us blood. Blood for the blood god. Skulls for the skull throne.
Party.
Put some new ideas and some new blood. New leaders, new blood.
What? Stop talking about blood. You're going to summon a corn-eyed demon.
A new generation.
Now, Williamson joins a growing field to replace outgoing chair Jamie Harrison that includes former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley, Minnesota Democratic Farmer Labor Party Chair Ken Martin, Wisconsin Democratic Party Chair Ben Wickler, and New York State Senator James Skoufis, and former U.S. Senate candidate from Maryland, Robert Hooton.
Wow. I'm uninspired already.
To discuss all of this, we have the panel back. Let's start with Hooton. He was on CNN last night. Here's a clip from that interview.
We were held hostage by the radical left. We weren't in the...
Already, this guy sounds like a moron. The radical left? Who? What? When? When did this happen? When did this happen? Because I'm really getting tired about how, oh my goodness, the radical left is in control of the Democratic Party. Oh my goodness, the radical left is doing what do you mean? They haven't gotten anything. Okay? Like people have asked me, oh kid, you're a secret conservative, aren't you? No, I'm not. I'm upset with the Democrats because they abandoned all the progressive policies. I mean, we didn't get jack. Nothing. And Bernie and AOC just went to bat for the neoliberal agenda from Joe Biden. Radical left. Okay, this is news to me. Fine, whatever. Oh, you know what? If this is what the Democrats want to think, fine. But I didn't get that memo. Did any of you get that memo?
A toilet. We have the opportunity to move policies that work for the people, and we will have credibility, Kate, when we work with the president, so that when we fight when he's wrong, we're going to have more credibility and we're going to win on all those issues.
All right, so no doubt.
Again, Angron demands blood. Yeah, again, they keep on saying new blood, new blood, new blood. Then all of a sudden a warp portal opens up. Yo, here's some corn-eyed demons. Oh no, it's Angron. Hey, I have to throw in my 40K references. The Emperor protects.
Whoever gets this top job is going to have their work cut out for them in helping rebuild or regrouping at the very least and rebranding the party. Jamal, I'll toss it to you first. What's your thoughts on who's leading this race so far?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I got you now, Jamal.
Right.
Okay.
So the two
go for it.
Are fighting between Wisconsin and Minnesota. And I think that the chairs of those two parties are the ones that we are really seeing have this contest. But here's the question for the Democrats. The question for the Democrats is, are they going to be on the side of the people who feel like they're being left out of the system and they're going to fight against trying to reform the system? Or they're the people who are going to try to defend the status quo? And for too often...
You know what? Controversial statement here. I think Angron would be a more effective DNC chair than any of the representatives that are running for that seat. Oh. Uninspiring Democrats. Thank you. And again, the national leadership vote will be in February 1st, second month of the new year.
over the last few years, Democrats have been sort of defending the status quo of the American society when people really feel like the status quo is not working for them. So the Democratic chairman can do a little bit on that, but really they've also got to focus on the fundamentals of the party building. Are they making sure that all—
Yes, Seraph, Angron would be better. I don't want Conrad Kurz involved, okay? I don't want that boy anywhere near anything, okay? With Conrad, you don't know what mood he's in. With Angron, it's pretty much certain, okay?
all those fundamentals taken care of? They've got organizing places. They've got people on the ground. They're going to build a national organization that can help win up and down the candidate level and not just be focused on what happens in a presidential campaign every 4 years.
And then, thank you, everyone. We're back with audio. Appreciate that, Jamal.
You're a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar corporation, and you can't get audio right? Inexcusable, CNN. Inexcusable.
I want to talk about Marianne Williamson, because I think this was perhaps a surprising late entry into this race. Let's listen to some impassioned pleas she's made during some of her earlier campaigns.
President Trump did not win the last election. That means we didn't go over the cliff. But I'll tell you something, we're still 6 inches away from it.
Mr. President, if you're listening, I want you to hear me, please. You have harnessed fear for political purposes, and only love can cast that out. I'm going to harness love for political purposes.
Oh, God. Love. It's just like that episode from The Simpsons, you know, when Mr. Burns was all high on drugs and he looked like an alien. I give you peace. I give you love. Ah, it brings love and peace. Kill it with fire.
I've had a career harnessing the inspiration and the motivation and the excitement of people, masses of people.
Lance, I'll give it to you. Would you fear a Williamson DNC chair?
I love when a Republican gets asked for to tell the Democrats what they should do for the next election. Look, I hope Jamal's party continues down the road they've been on. They ignore the Joe Manchins of the world. They ignore the John Fettermans of the world and continue leaning in on this left woke ideology, because that's where I see them going. I mean, somebody said, well,
Stop it, please. Listen. Marianne Williamson probably needs a book deal. I don't know. I don't know why she's running. I don't know. After her failed campaign, you know what? Hey, more power to you. I need to laugh.
Go in one of the earlier clips that, like, we've been held hostage by the left. Look who they nominated. Kamala Harris was the most liberal senator when she served in the United States Senate. That's where
Where are you pulling that fact out? When did this happen? Now, literally, I think I'm gonna go crazy. Now, listen, I've had a stressful 2 weeks. Listen, you know what? I'm not angry. Kamala, the most left-leaning liberal senator ever. I mean, my goodness, you've checked her track record? I mean, she couldn't even pull in anyone for the Bernie Sanders coalition of 2016 or 2020. Whatever coalition the Democrats had even fractured even more. There's, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. You know, it's like I'm screaming at the ocean, telling like that one king who said he was going to command the tides not to come in. Fine. It's okay. I'm not furious.
The Democratic Party has been, and where they seemingly continue to want to go. Joe Manchin's out there earlier this week and talking to Mananu Raju saying, hey, look, we need to moderate on issues, but I'm not seeing that. So look, I hope they continue to ignore people like Joe Manchin, because that's going to make my life a lot easier and my Republican operative friends a lot easier for the next election.
Jamal, your quick response there?
Yeah, for my Democratic friends, I just want to say, don't listen to Lance. That's what nobody's talking about. This isn't about left versus right. He's a Republican trying to dance in the Democratic primary. You know, he's not right. This isn't about left versus right. This is about outsiders versus insiders. And some of these
Mark Poligsi wrote, tipped $5. I voted for deep dish pizza because I think deep dish pizza is Midwestern barbarism. Well, shame on you, because I actually, for the live stream chat, I got a question. Who should be the DNC chair? At 7%, Marianne Williamson. At 13%, Angron, Primark of the World Eaters. 2% random Democrat, and at a strong 78% deep dish pizza. Well done.
Policies are going to make sense because they're going to make sense they're going to be from the cultural left, right? About economic policy. also getting people more money for, wages and that.
And they lost the signal. Oh, terrible.
Which means we're not going to talk about some of the issues that have been
Hold on, I want to watch that again. That's actually kind of funny.
going to be from the cultural left, right? About economic policy, getting people more money for, wages and that. Which means we're not going to talk about some of the issues that.
Technical delay there in CNN. Equipment not working properly. Got to get that checked.
That have been hot buttons. Like, I think DEI is really important, but the reason why DEI is important is because it's going to make America more competitive, and we're going to be able to go out into the world and win and keep our companies as competitive as possible. That's not really a progressive argument, but it is an argument that includes every American, which is what Democrats stand for.
Leah, I want to take a step back here. Do you think that whoever is the next leader of the DNC is really going to be the next leader of the Democratic Party?
No one is the leader of the Democratic Party. It's the donors. It's the donors. Oh, I'm sorry. The owners who control the Democratic Party. Come on, CNN. I know you're losing viewers, and I know that your time is almost up. Not yet, but you at least ride off in the sunset with some dignity. Don't ask stupid questions like that, CNN.
I don't necessarily know that they need to be the next leader of the Democratic Party. What they need to do is lead essentially what is coming to terms with the infrastructure and the institution of the Democratic Party. And from that, we'll begin to see real leadership emerge. So it's not necessarily about being hailed to the chief or saying that this is the person that is in charge, but instead, can you lay the groundwork for a new generation of leadership that is actually in touch with the American people, with Democratic voters, and then with the kind of larger orbit of Democratic voters or independent voters, progressive voters, left-wing voters, conservative Democrats that have made up the Democratic Party, and the Democratic Party has really shied away from in the last couple of cycles. I think the other thing here to keep in mind is that as you hear somebody like Marianne Williamson, who kind of emerges every 4 years to say these things, we have to remember that Marianne Williamson's biggest endorsers have been billionaires. And that's not actually very much in touch with where the Democratic base wants to be right now, as they.
Well, at least somebody there has a functioning brain, yes, because a lot of people with money did influence Marianne Williamson, but then also it's probably what influenced her to end her campaign and then restart again, because it's all about money. Why would you run in the primary when it's quite clear that the game was rigged from the start?
He said resoundingly in this last election cycle, the people actually that they should be listening to, Bernie Sanders and Stacey Abrams. Those are the two people who have been very consistent and very in touch.
No. Bernie Sanders had its time. Stacey Abrams, no. That is the dumbest thing I ever heard.
With the American public that have been related to the Democratic Party. Those are the people that are going to help pick the leadership of the Democratic Party, or at the very least should be helping to pick the leadership of the Democratic Party as we move forward into this next election cycle.
So, what can we take away from this? After seeing that list and even seeing Marianne Williamson potentially throwing her hat in the ring for DNC chair, you want to know what's going to happen? You want to know who's going to select you want to know how the DNC chair is going to pick its person? It's who's going to benefit the donors, the owners, and the party leadership. That's it. Being DNC chair is not about, the voters or working class Americans. The Democratic Party, as has been correctly pointed out by numerous independent media networks, is a private institution, and they select who they want for any office that's being open for a run. It's how they operate. That's what they do. And they've done it for a long time. And if you think that whoever sits in the DNC chair position is going to change things, why don't you look at the grave of Justice Democrats, brand new Congress, Our Revolution, and DSA, and tell me, how did the dead do?